The song that won battles, Jehoshaphat's victory. In a kingdom surrounded by golden mountains, King Jehoshaphat received news that made his heart tremble. 3 great armies had joined together to attack his people. The messenger Jahi arrived exhausted at the palace, describing a multitude that covered the horizon like a storm cloud. Jehoshaphat, though a courageous leader, felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. Instead of gathering swords and shields first, Jehoshaphat did something unexpected. He summoned all the people to the temple courtyard. Men, women, and children gathered in silence. Jehoshaphat looked at a small boy holding his mother's hand and, in a firm voice, began to pray, admitting that he did not know what to do, but that his eyes were turned to the Creator. While the people waited in silence, the Spirit of God descended upon a young Levite named Jeziel. He stood up in the midst of the crowd with an authority that silenced the wind. Jehoshaphat approached to hear the divine message. Jeziel proclaimed that they would not need to fight that battle, for victory had already been decided in heaven. "Do not be afraid," Jeziel said to a trembling soldier beside him. "Tomorrow, go out to meet them, but stand still and see the deliverance the Lord will give you." The soldier, who had previously gripped his spear tightly, felt a supernatural calm envelop his heart as Jeziel pointed to the valley where the enemy awaited. The next morning, before sunrise, Jehoshaphat prepared his strategy. He summoned the young musician Mello, who was known for playing the harp masterfully. Jehoshaphat explained that the front of the army would not be occupied by spearmen, but by singers. Mello, surprised, pressed his harp against his chest, understanding that his music would be the main weapon. Mello found his friend, a Levite who carried a psaltery, and together they began to organize the choir. They donned their festive clothes instead of heavy armor. "Sing to the Lord, for his mercy endures forever," they said to one another, tuning their voices as the army lined up behind them in orderly fashion. The march began. Instead of the sound of metal clashing against metal, the air was filled with a powerful melody. Mello led the way, singing with all the strength of his lungs, accompanied by a percussionist who marked the rhythm of faith. As they praised, something invisible and glorious began to happen in the enemy camp. In the valley below, confusion spread among the invaders. Without a single soldier of Jehoshaphat raising a sword, the enemy armies began to fight amongst themselves. 2 opposing soldiers, lost in the smoke and chaos of their own distrust, turned against each other, while the song of praise from Judah echoed through the walls of the cannon. When Jehoshaphat and Mello reached the top of the hill overlooking the valley, silence had fallen. There was no more battle, only the spoils of a victory they did not have to win with their own hands. Jehoshaphat placed his hand on Mello's shoulder, both marveling at the miracle that praise had worked before their eyes. The people went down to the valley, which came to be called the Valley of Barakah, the Valley of Blessing. Jehoshaphat helped a young girl gather jewels and precious fabrics that had been left behind. It took 3 days to collect all the riches. They returned to Jerusalem with music, proving that faith and gratitude are the most powerful weapons that exist.